Hey, what's going on, everybody? Want to welcome you back to the show, I guess. So, as most of you know, this weekend was a pretty tough one for me, and lost the biggest bet of my life on Jamal Hill. It was not a fun process. Um, I've been doing this for 5 years now, and getting that one just really stung. Really rubbed me the wrong way. It hurts, losing that kind of money. I've never done that ever before in my life, and frankly, it's not a great feeling. Um, so you know, uh, basically, quit. I quit. I can't do it anymore. I, under no circumstances, will ever bet against Alex Pereira ever again. You guys think I'm quitting the show? It ain't nothing a shot of fireball won't fix, baby. Oh, roll the damn intro. Happy Monday, degenerates. Welcome back to the DieHard MMA podcast. I am your host, now, always, and forever, King Degenerate Clint behind the desk here. I hope you all are having a blessed and wonderful Monday. I'm sorry. You guys, I am so sorry. You get one. You get one of those I quit pranks over the entire course of your career as a podcaster. And it was too perfect. I had to. I had to go for it. It was my one chance, my one opportunity. I will never put you guys through that pain ever again. I absolutely promise. You guys would not believe some of the messages that I got though with people. First off, a couple of you reached out to like check on me and stuff, and I love you guys. I appreciate that. You guys are the real ones. But I had some people going that were like, serves him right and something. You ain't shaking me that easy, baby. So, without further ado, I mean, what are we doing here? Let's do a full on damn recap of UFC 300. I want to go ahead and apologize for the quality of my voice. If you guys saw any of my videos this past week, I was live at the DraftKings Sportsbook here in Scottsdale, and I was screaming my face off. This was such a fun live event. Shout out to DraftKings. They hooked me and my family and stuff like that up, so we got awesome seats, and it's just a really great facility. So if you guys are in Arizona, make sure you absolutely check it out. It's a good freaking time. And I see you all here in the chat. I love you guys. I'm sorry. What's going on, everybody? I can't scroll all the way back to the beginning and shout you all out. We already have 260 live viewers, and you guys are burying me here with the comments, so I would never catch up. A shout out to each and every one of you. I love you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you for supporting me and watching the show. So all right, back to where we got started here. Let's just it's just a hangout day, right? There's no UFC card this weekend, and frankly, I got to keep the show short because my voice is awful. I know you guys can hear this right now. If I want to be able to talk for the rest of the week, and I want to be able to break down a fight card for you guys next week, I need to not destroy my voice on the show this evening. I'm trying to, save it if I can. There is apparently a PFL fight this weekend. I have not gotten a chance to look into it. Maybe if I get a chance to do some research, I could make up for like the Thursday or Friday show that we won't have this week, with it being a UFC break week. And I could give you guys some thoughts on that. But mainly, we're just here to kind of recap and kind of talk about how things went for UFC 300. Because by God, that card was it was out of pocket, man. The amount of hype surrounding it by the time it kicked off. I mean, I was one of the people that was talking about how UFC 299 was better than UFC 300 a couple months ago because it just didn't look like it had kind of the star power that you were looking for. When it all got put together, said and done, holy crap. Like, not only was it the best card the UFC's ever put on, but it lived up to the hype. I mean, outside of the Aljamain Sterling fight, every fight on that card was freaking awesome. First fight of the night, Deiveson Figueiredo, Cody Garbrandt. God, I mean, we called Davison by finish, right? But one of the only people I saw talking anything about Davison's sub confidently was my guy Matty Betts right here at Home of Fight. He cashed a big old ticket to start the night that way, and proud of him because I told you guys the club and sub was live. I thought that Davison could clip the jaw of Cody Garbrandt, hurt him, wobble him, grab a neck, tap him out real quick that way. Totally possible, right? Totally possible. But I never thought grappling was the game plan. And Davison just went out there and bullied that man. In fact, I thought that Cody was going to have like the physicality and wrestling advantage. So Davison probably would want to avoid grappling exchanges. My God, he climbed on top of him, held him down, and choked him the fuck out. Like, welcome to bantamweight, Davison. Like, I didn't see that coming. So, Violence Bets and Deiveson Figueiredo, big favorite, first fight of the night. They both get home. I didn't have anything. On that one. Josh popping in here saying Figgy lost round one. And yet that's probably true. You know what? He probably did lose round one. But I mean, to do what he did in round two, and finish it, taking over and just doing it that way. Oh, my guy Dream hitting the Figgy sub bet. Love to see it. Yeah, I thought about sprinkling at it, but it wasn't something I was ever going to play with any kind of confidence. So congrats to any of you guys that did go ahead and get in there on that Figueiredo submission prop. Danny Betts, my guy. What's going on, buddy? Welcome to the show. Good to see you, my man. And then, so we didn't have anything on that first fight of the night, right? I made a stupid all violence bet parlay like everybody else did just for shits and giggles. And, looked like it was off to a great start, but then Bobby Green and Jim Miller ruined it on the second fight of the night. Like, how disappointing, We got 300K bonuses on the line and everybody thinks, you know what, all violence, the whole card all the way. And Bobby ruined it. Bobby just ruins it. So I did something really stupid, guys. I took a swing at winning my own 300K bonus on this card. And I made a 2-unit parlay that was like 7 legs long, just to win $300,000. Like, I wanted to win $300,000. You know how lights out this show would have been if I had cashed a 300K ticket over the weekend. We would have been doing this from like the rooftop in Vegas or something like that for this week's podcast. But I decided to roll with the legend. I wanted Jim Miller by decision. This one kind of sucks for me, guys, because Danny, shut up. He's saying love the new voice. Yeah, I'm hoping it's back to normal next week, you bastard. My first instinct on this fight was Bobby by decision, right? I said no happy endings in MMA. Step down in competition for Bobby, step up in competition for Jim. Jim's getting old. But then I kind of bought in. I listened to some people and I bought in to the Jim Miller hype and Bobby saying he's going to go out there and slug it out and throw down looking for the bonus. And I really got hyped up on Jim Miller. So he was the first leg of that 300K parlay. So obviously that went down in flames. And you know what? It's funny because I think Bobby really did go out there with the intention to throw down until Jim cracked him. Because in round one, he backed off immediately. Like, he started fast. He came out hard. Jim cracked him with a big one and he was like, nope. And he started doing his same old Bobby Green thing where he backed off. And then, quite frankly, I couldn't believe he didn't finish. I couldn't believe Bobby Green didn't finish that fight. Jim was like dead on his feet in the third round, and he just was content to be classic Bobby Green, dipping and diving and dodging, dancing and jabbing, and he just wouldn't put him out there. He could have had Jim out of there probably about halfway through round 3, I feel like, unfortunately. But yeah, it is what it is. Is what it is. I lost the first 3 bets of the evening, right? I had doesn't go the distance, which I thought was cashing no matter who won the fight. I had Jim Miller inside the distance for the stupid parlay. And then I had Jim in the submission special because I was hoping for a club and sub for that. Not too worried about the sub special. It's just a little sprinkle for a big payday. But the other two hurt. I thought I was going to break even because I really thought we'd get a finish, right? I thought I would win 2 units on the fight doesn't go the distance, and whatever 300k parlay is a wash, and we'll go in clean to the next fight of the night, but ended up losing all of it. So rough way to go ahead and start the evening there on that one. Um, let's see here. Gamblestein, my guy in the chat saying, I'll say this, listen to 20 different shows last week. Literally everyone was on Hill. Post-fight, they're all pretending, ignoring that they've had a mixed clan. So props. Hey, Gamblestein, I know I'm not everybody's flavor, right? I know I'm not everybody's favorite, but the one thing I'll always do is be open and honest with you guys and tell you exactly what I didn't do, and then own up to it. And part of my process, it's real funny. Part of my process is really to look back and go, okay, was this a good process? Was this a good bet? Was this a bad bet? And people actually really get mad at me because I will go back and I'll go, you know what? That was a good bet that didn't cash. There's a big group of people that are like, only good bets cash and only bad bets lose. And it's not that simple. I want to make sure my brain process is correct. And I want to make sure I was on the right track to making that bet in the first place. And then decide whether or not I want to keep doing that, right? So I'll get to that. We'll talk about it in the main event, but that's what I did in this spot. I absolutely bet on Jamal Hill. I absolutely went hard on Hill this past week. And was it a good or bad bet? You'll have to wait for the end of the show, or I guess the end of the recap. I will absolutely talk about it. So yeah, so first 2 fight of the nights started in a hole, not great. And then Andrade did exactly what we wanted her to, right? We talked about it where she's not a zero on the feet, but Marina Rodriguez has the advantage striking. We wanted Jessica to grapple. Thank God Marina slipped in round 1. Because I'll be honest with you guys, there was a chance that Jessica loses this fight. She did not have the urgency to grapple the way that I wanted her to. Now, her style was working. She was crowding Rodriguez. She was getting in her face. She was ripping to the body, and then she was landing that big overhand power shot, and it was hurting Marina. Marina actually was in trouble a couple different times in that fight. So I was very happy with my bet on Jessica Andrade, but I was much happier knowing that we had banked round 1 because Marina slipped and fell on her ass and Jessica jumped on top of her. I still think Jessica probably would have won, but by the end of the fight, she was slowing down. By the end of the fight, Marina was having a whole lot more success on the feet. It ended up going to a split decision. I don't agree with the split whatsoever. I thought it was pretty clear 29-28 for Jessica Andrade. But if we hadn't got that ground control in round 1 off the slip, this could have been a legitimate split decision. This could have legitimately been a Marina Rodriguez fight. So, not, a little sketched out on that one. Happy to get the win. You know what I mean? Happy to get the win on that one. That was a good one to get back on track, get us in the win column and get on pace. But then the bullshit starts right up again, guys. Then it starts right up again. So I've got a parlay with Jalen Turner and Armin Saryukian. And that really sucked. First and foremost, because I got to shout out the Home of Fight guys here again, because my guy Matty Betts put $10,000 on Renato Moicano. 10K. Like legitimately went to the bank with Renato Moicano as a big underdog. He's right here on Home of Fight. He's a member of Home of Fight. They're doing a podcast, a weekly show with Gilbert Burns, my guy Matty, and Renato. He's hilarious. I love Renato. This was a spot where I didn't think he would get the grappling going in time to overcome Jalen's offense. And sure enough, Jalen floors him in round 1 with a big power shot. And it should have been over, guys. It should have been over. Now, credit to Moicano. He popped up as soon as he realized the referee wasn't stepping in. As soon as he realized the ref wasn't going to get in there, Moicano popped right up off his ass and started moving forward. So we knew he had the dog in him. We really did. But I think Jalen had a bit of an adrenaline dump because he tried to walk off KO. Now, this one, it sucks. It really sucks because we were all talking about how Jalen Turner committed murder on Bobby Green, right? A guy that he counts as a friend, a guy that he doesn't want to hurt. The referee made him essentially kill the guy in the middle of the cage before he stopped the fight. Jalen didn't want to do that again. He straight up talked about not wanting to do that to people. So he tries a walk-off KO, I think both because he had it and then both because he didn't want to hurt the guy again. And that cost him. It would have taken 1 or 2 follow-up shots. If he just sits on Moicano's chest and, throws 1 or 2 straights between the guard, the ref is stepping in. And it's done in round 1. So all credit to the heart and toughness of Moicano. Shout out to everybody that cashed tickets on Moicano, especially the couple of people out there that got in on Renato Moicano by TKO, because what a hell of a call. What an absolute beastly call, Moicano by TKO. So props to a lot of people out there. You guys got in on that one. I'm bummed. I'm bummed. I feel a little bit robbed on that one. I'm not going to lie, because if Jalen had just not shown floor level IQ, I think he finishes that fight. I think he follows up on a couple of shots and finishes that fight. Yeah, Dream. We'll get to that one here in a minute too. We'll get to that one here as well. And Gamblestein, yeah, Moicano absolutely, he gutted that shit out. Like, you can't question that guy's heart. You can't question his toughness. He absolutely gutted that damn thing out. So Sadiq Youssef and Diego Lopez, I can't ever remember. I ended up making a small bet on this one. It was like 1.42 units to win one, and it sucks because I wish I had gone bigger. I really do. And I know, gambler's hindsight, right? Like, we always wish we had gone bigger. I was so excited for this fight, knowing Sadiq Youssef had some chin concerns, knowing Diego Lopez was the flavor of the week. It's one of those spots where, guys, every once in a while, like, you kind of deep think yourself a little bit too far. And Diego was the side, man. Diego was the side. He always was. I talked about it on my Friday show, the undefeated post weigh-in show, no less. That yeah, see, JP, though, you said it's Lopes, but you just typed it the way that it reads. So which one? You need to, like, phonetically type it out for me. Which one is it? So Diego is one of those guys where, like, sometimes they're just the shit, right? Like, I talked about how I felt like Sadiq Youssef probably should have been the favorite, but at the end of the day, in my soul, I felt like Diego was winning that fight. So I felt like maybe it was a bad bet laying chalk on Diego, but I still felt like he was going to win at some point. Weird way to, like, have that going around in my brain. But Diego's just the dude. He's just the dude. Like, it's one of those situations where he's rising. He's the flavor of the week. Everyone's high on him. Everybody's hot on him. He's got all this hype behind him. And look at Steve Ursa getting a title shot. It's just like that. You want to bet against the guy because you're like, there's no way he comes out of left field and is just this fucking good. He is. He is. And I know a lot of sharp people that were on the Youssef side, and it's like, quite frankly, the sharp people were the ones believing their eyes on this one and just betting Diego. Just take him to the bank because he's going to keep fucking people up until he gets a title shot. I love this kid. Absolutely love this kid. So it was nice to get a little, 1 unit pop back my way. Wish I had had the balls to go under, but I had kind of thought myself into a eternal loop, and I was pretty frustrated about that. And yeah, I see what you guys are saying. It's kind of a bummer that Diego did not get a performance of the night bonus. I felt like that was performance of the night worthy, absolutely. And again, sharp call on the KO for anybody who did that. We talked about Youssef's chin issues. I liked Diego inside the distance myself, but I had him in the submission special. Jim didn't come home, so we weren't going to get it anyway. But I was looking for the sub, especially when Youssef got up. When he got chinned the first time, dropped, and then got back up, I was like, now Diego's going to grab the neck. The next time he hurts him, he's going to wrap up the neck. Nope. He just kept punching. Probably smart for Diego to just keep on punching the way he did, because it ended up getting him a big KO, and people got to respect those hands from now on. Okay, Anthony is saying Lopes is just Lopez, but Portuguese spelling of the same word. I'm Latino. Okay, good to know. So it's just Lopez. I will correct that. I'll call him Diego Lopez from now on. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. The next fight, I decided to go big, guys. I wish I had made a bigger deal of this. I locked this in late, so I put it on my final card, but I didn't do, like, the announcement tweet like I usually do when I post a pick out there. Kayla Harrison inside the distance, plus 120 for 4 units. I just had to see her make weight. I just had to see her get on the scales. And then especially seeing her at the ceremonial face-offs, because she was a tank. She was fucking enormous. And I wasn't sure if it was going to be, everybody was debating, is it going to be the ground pound TKO now that she can elbow? Was it going to be the submission? Because that's what she always seems to do, and that's what Holly sucks against. I kept saying, I think it's going to be the sub, because Holly's not going to get knocked out clean. She's too tough. She's too durable, even though she's old, unless the ref steps in to save her, which I don't think he would need to do because she'll keep squirming enough. Eventually, Kayla's going to have to grab her neck and tap her out. So we made a big bet on Kayla Harrison. And, and again, hindsight, this was a max bet spot. This was a 7-unit spot. Like, the UFC wanted Kayla to get this finish. I knew in my soul she was getting that finish, and I could have gone bigger on this bet. I played 4 units on it, and I still don't feel like I went hard enough on it. It was a big cash for me, and it was a big payday. We're never going to see that number again. I talked about it last week. When Kayla was big in the PFL, you guys, they set her numbers at KO plus 100, sub plus 100, and they made you flip that coin. Pick sub or KO. Which one's it going to be? Because the inside the distance was like minus 200. They made it impossible to bet her inside the distance. She comes over to the UFC and you're getting plus money on inside the distance. You don't even have to pick which one. Like that was such a sweet spot. So it's weird because I should have gone even harder. Even though I cashed a 4-unit bet on it, I should have gone even harder. So that felt good. That felt good. And Dream cashing in on that. Love to see it. Had her parlayed with Zhang. Good call. Good call on the parlay with Zhang. Good work on that one. And the next fight, the one that kind of stuck out like the sore thumb here for me, Calvin Kattar and Aljamain Sterling. Oh my God. Worst fight on the entire card. Thank you, Aljamain Sterling. We all appreciate you being here. um, I did drop the ball here on this one, guys. So Calvin Kattar coming off the long layoff. I don't know if it was that or if maybe he just isn't as good as I thought he was. He showed good instincts. He showed a good get up game. He worked towards the cage. He did what he had to do to kind of like stay in the fight and kind of get back to it the way that he needed to. But he also just kind of never got going. He kind of never did what he needed to do to defend those takedowns. Calvin stung Aljo in the first round. Like the very first combo that he threw, he hurt Aljamain Sterling on the feet. You saw an immediate response from Aljamain just being like, nope. He immediately dived on the ankles. Everyone was all hyped up for Aljo landing like a combo up against the cage or something like that. But Calvin's hands are down, trying to defend the takedowns, that kind of thing. He didn't land with any kind of significant force or power or anything like that. But then Calvin Kattar just never threw ever again. Like he got taken down the one time. And I have talked about the threat of the takedown before, the fear of winding up on your back. As soon as Calvin realized he wasn't going to be able to defend those takedowns, he just stopped throwing. He never had a chance to get his offense going ever again. And that one sucks. That one sucks because I had a big unit play on the money line for Calvin Kattar, and I had the knockout bet on Calvin Kattar. I really expected him to be able to defend those situations and keep the fight standing and then hurt Aljamain. Hurt Aljamain on the feet once he did. And he just never was able to get that respect back ever again. As soon as Aljo realized he was going to come down or be able to get him down easily, that fight was over. So, yeah, bad read by me, bad call. Guy coming off the injury. I trusted in that counter grappling. I trusted in the size and the strength, and it is what it is. I will fade Aljamain Sterling. I will fade him again. I will bet against him very, very soon, probably, very likely. I just don't think he's long for this weight class. Anybody, guys, who's going to be able to force him to strike is going to beat the brakes off of him. Like I said, Calvin hurt him in his very first exchange. Calvin had this guy hurt on the feet in round one, and Aljo wanted nothing to do with it. And he showed the times that he did land the complete disrespect Calvin Kattar had for that offense coming back his way. Sterling's translated this weight class. So as soon as he finds somebody who can handle him on the ground or at least hang with him on the ground, Aljamain Sterling is going to have a problem. So I hope they give me another big plus number next time. I hope they give me a better matchup next time. I guess Brian Ortega is the guy he's called out. I like that with the advancements in striking that Brian has made on the feet, plus the jiu-jitsu aspect of his game. I like that fight. Now, obviously, Aljamain could still like wet blanket a guy like Brian Ortega, but I think that's a pretty decent fight. Mumu saying, do you guys remember Aljo getting hurt? It's just the first flurry that Calvin lands. It's within like the first minute of the fight. Aljo, I think I got to go back and rewatch it. I'm sorry, guys. I was drinking heavily. I was at a bar. I was at the bar, the sports book watching this fight live. So I don't remember the exact spot. I need to go back and rewatch the fight. But the very first time Calvin Kattar landed like a 3-piece combo on him, Aljo dove on an ankle. Like you could see him take a shot. His eyes got a little wide and jumped on an ankle. So like I mentioned before, Aljo just doesn't like getting punched. He does not like taking damage. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't think Aljamain Sterling's career at featherweight is going to be fantastic. I know other people will disagree with me on that, but I don't think it's going to be great. Closing out the preliminary card, Yuri taking on Alexander Rakic, and this one went right to plan. Our favorite wild man, Yuri Prohaska. absolutely dialed in. The video that was circulating of him like standing outside the arena, just doing nothing but like staring at the arena for like an hour on Friday night. I mean, this guy is a legitimate madman. He's insane and I love him. And that kind of focus and determination is the kind of thing that'll maybe artificially get me a little more on his side than I should be. But I have always talked about how I think Rakic is a bit of a fraud at this weight class. 205 is weak, guys. Like, just it's such a thin division. And he is one of the top 5 guys because it's such a thin division. Now, don't get me wrong, he's got good, solid technical striking. He's a monster. He's a huge dude. But that's kind of been the thing that's gotten him through is him just being kind of a big monster. Yuri is levels above this guy. And he's got that stupid durability and he's got that dog in him and he's got that never quit, never say die attitude. I guess Rakic came out and said he was dealing with staph infection. So, I mean, like, okay, maybe. I'm not the guy that's going to sit here and tell you guys that a fighter is lying about having a staph infection or something like that. But I felt like Yuri was going to beat the brakes off of him before I found out he had staph, and he did. So, I'm not gonna wipe that one away. Cashed a nice ticket on Yuri, plus money dog, and this was another one that I'm a little sad that I didn't go harder on. I got spooked by some people that I trust. A lot of people really believed in Rakic in this spot, and I get it. I disagreed. But it kept the bet smaller for me than it otherwise would have been because the people I respect being, talking up the Rakic side. This is a fight, guys, that when they first opened up the line, I want to say it was like 3 months ago, DraftKings put the line out and Yuri was like a plus 125, plus 130 underdog when they first dropped it. And I almost max bet it like 3 months in advance. Like I thought about it. I really did, but I was like, that's not really me. That's not really my game. So I just kind of held off and I wanted to wait for the fight. And I feel like I lost some money between then and now because if I had locked a huge bet in on Yuri months ago, I'd be much happier about this one. Okay. I put a tweet out, you guys, and some people got really like frustrated with me being like, oh, you're bragging about some shit you didn't do. Oh, shut up. Like I'm just talking to people. I'm sitting in the DraftKings Sportsbook, and the fights are about to kick off. Actually, I think Davison and Cody Garbrandt had just wrapped up. It might have been right before the Green and Miller fight. And I'm just kind of like looking through stuff, and I was like, you know what? I want to do something stupid. I want to do something big that's going to win a big payout, but not the 200K parlay, right? Like I want to do like the round prop type of thing where I can have a smaller risk with a huge payout. And I was debating whether or not I was going to, post it and stuff. I wanted to do a round robin. Shout out Narco, you guys. Shout out Narco Cop from the Lambo Plays podcast. He always does this. Like his Lambo plays are always some combination of like round twos and round threes, and you mix and match them. And I haven't done that in a long time. I'm not going to say never. I did it a couple of times, but it's been a long time. I wanted to do Yuri round 2, round 3, and then I was going to do Max 3, 4, and 5. And I was going to round robin those legs. So like any combination thereof. And it would have been, unfortunately, it would have been a stupid number, right? It would have been massive and it would have hit. It would have been Yuri round 2 parlayed with Max round 5. And that would have come home. My jaw hit the floor, guys. I mean, like, first off, the Max knockout, we're not there yet. We'll get there. The Max knockout was insanity, right? Like it already was insane that it happened in the first place. But then it dawned on me that I didn't get to make my bet. And I was mad because I couldn't find the round 3, 4, and 5 props on FanDuel. They had like KO, TKO 3, 4, and 5, sub 3, 4, and 5. But I already had like the late sub sprinkles. I didn't want to pick KO or TKO. I just wanted 3, 4, or 5. And I couldn't fucking find them. So I was like, okay, fine, I'll look at DraftKings. And they're on DraftKings. But they weren't there for Yuri. I was so furious that I was like, are you shitting me? Like I picked 2 guys on this entire card. And on one side, they've got one guy, but not the other. On the other side, they've got the other guy, but not the first one. I was mad. I was so mad, you guys. I could have cashed something really big and really stupid, and it would have been incredible. And I don't know when I'll get another opportunity like that. So I'm mad. I'm pissed off at both DraftKings and FanDuel, less at DraftKings because I had a phenomenal weekend at their facility. So FanDuel, fuck off. Like, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. If you want to sponsor me at some point down the road, I love your book. I bet a bunch of hockey props on there today. So main card kicks off at this point. I'm feeling good. I've had about 3 Long Island iced teas, a shot of Fireball, a white tea. Have you guys had white tea? If you guys haven't had white tea, next time you're at a bar, get the white tea. It's a shot and it's delicious. Your friends will make fun of you, but it's really good. They're fucking dangerous. They're dangerous. They go down easy and then you'll have a few too many of them too quickly, but I've discovered them recently and I love them. Tom asking what a round robin is. So Tom, a round robin is like if you do for this example, if I had done Max Holloway round 3 with Yuri round 2, that's like a one leg parlay, right? But you can go Max round 3, Yuri round 2, Max round 3, Yuri round 3. So you've got both those options, and then you do the same thing on the other side where it's Yuri 2, Max 4, Yuri 2, Max 5, Yuri 3, Max 3, Yuri 3, Max 4, Yuri 3, Max 5. So you round all the way around. You get every combination option. That's what they call a round robin. Or like if you load it up in like an app like DraftKings or something like that, and you do like, let's say football season, you get like 5 down scorers. There'll be a button that gives you the option to round robin it, and it'll do like the math for you and multiply your bet times 10 or 12, whatever the combination is. So it gets expensive. If the more leagues you do, the more expensive it gets because it's infinite combinations of whatever things you select to put in the round robin. But if they hit, they pay out big time. So it's like small bets for big rewards. They're dumb. They're degenerate. Make sure you utilize proper bankroll management. Main card, feeling good. Bo Nickel, Cody Brundage. It's my moment, you guys. It's my moment. I want to watch everything just burn down. I want everybody's kits to go up in flames. I want the UFC's plans for Bo to get destroyed. I want Cody round 1 like nothing you guys can imagine. And I feel like he almost got a little bit close. Like Cody landed a couple of good shots. Round 1 was not as like clean cut as everybody was expecting it to be. Cody was in that fight for the first couple of minutes, and then Bo did Bo and Cody did Cody. Like, right, you know what I mean? Like the outcome everybody expected started to happen about 3 minutes into that first round, which is why I put a half unit on Bo Nickel round 2. We had plus 380 on Bo round 2, and that worked phenomenally. Like, again, it was the same thing as Kayla Harrison. I wasn't sure if it was going to be the KO or the sub. I kind of thought it was going to be the KO, but at damn near 4-1, just for my guy Cody to survive that first round, I was all in on that. And again, I probably should have gone bigger. Like I was convicted on that Cody could survive that first round. Bo obviously is still a work in progress. You know, it's pretty apparent that he is still very much a work in progress. He wasn't super willing to go to the ground and pound. Not that that's necessarily a flaw, but like I think that'll open up his submission game even more once he does get going on that. And his striking, he was uncomfortable on the feet with a guy like Cody. He's got some work to do, guys. He's still a dominant wrestler. He's still a fantastic submission artist, but Bo Nickel is not ready. All the people that are cheering for the Hamzat fight, everybody that's ready to push Bo up to the title, pump the brakes. Kid needs a little bit more seasoning before we get crazy like that. Oh, my guy Dream hitting the over 1.5. We talked about that, right? I was like, hey, if we get over 1.5, it was like plus 225 or plus 250, something stupid for the fight to get over 1.5 rounds. I thought about it, but my balls shriveled up in me with all the other bets I had going on this card. So Dream, I'm glad you hit that. Congratulations. Truth, what's going on? Yeah, Gamblestein, he called out Fluffy, which bold call, man. So I guess the one thing I'll say about that is though, Fluffy is really just like a high pace grappler. Everyone's saying that he's like dead in that matchup. We don't really rave about Fluffy striking, right? Like this is coming right off the top of the head. I think that's a good call out because Fluffy is a guy who will go pace for pace and try to scramble and wrestle with Bo. If we're not standing and striking and we're grappling the whole time, Bo, I think, can keep up with Fluffy. I mean, it'll test his gas tank, obviously. We don't know what Bo looks like in round 3. But he's not going to have the fear of the striking on the feet where someone like, a round 1 powerhouse like Cody Brundage that'll hit you with a knee right up the middle. He doesn't have to be scared of that. So it could potentially be an okay matchup for him. Yeah, Fluffy could fight for the belt tomorrow. I mean, maybe so. Like I said, I'm going top of the brain here. I got to go back and run back and watch some of the exchanges Fluffy's had striking because, in my brain, he's almost purely a wrestler. I know he's not. I know he's got other skill sets, but this is why I got to do the tape study. I think that's an okay call out. I think that's an okay developmental call out for Bo. I would love to see it. JP saying I could see the UFC holding Bo back for a while. Not ready. Absolutely. Absolutely. They'll keep giving him spots to get his name out there, though. Spots like this where he'll get a dominant finish, that kind of thing. They will do a good job of trying to lead him along. Yeah, Josh Swain, he's a mid-level overhyped job. We'll see. We'll see, man. When you get that elite skill set in one area of your life or one aspect of your game, you can have the ability to form another elite aspect. You know what it takes to get to the elite level. So the fact that he's done what he's done in wrestling, he could apply that to jujitsu. He could apply that to striking. It's just going to take time. It's just going to take time. So we'll see. In my opinion, jury's still out on Bo Nickel. My guy D, what's going on, man? Almost had the perfect card. Of course, Jalen Turner. Freaking A, man. Oh, good call, though, D, man. I'll bet you made a pile if you had those good of calls on this kind of a card. That's awesome. Congratulations, man. So the next fight up was Charles Oliveira, and he took on Arman Tsarukyan. Fun fight. Real fun fight. We got to kind of see the ups and downs of this clash here. Arman got the win. It was not without its danger. You know, he almost got choked out in the first round. Not many people survive a Charles Oliveira guillotine. So props to him. We talked about how Charles would be willing to play off of his back against a wrestler who will get on top of him, and that's pretty much how the fight played out. Arman had a couple of moments where his striking exchanges were okay. Oliveira was very live and had his opportunities to fight and to finish and to hurt this guy. So if my parlay was still alive with Jalen Turner, my butt would have been very puckered. I thought Arman was going to finish him. I really did. And especially in round 2, when he got on top of him and like cut Charles open with his elbows and shit, I thought round 3 was going to be just more of the same. But Charles did a damn good job of giving himself an opportunity. I mean, that guy is just championship caliber to his bones. You can never count out Charles Oliveira. And that's why I said it was so terrifying to parlay Arman Tsarukyan. I thought that he was the right side. I felt that he would win. But it's always terrifying when you go on the other side of Charles Oliveira. And it is interesting, though, the people online that are talking about how Charlie tapped him in round 3 with that, I think it was the dark stroke that he was going for. Arman just pulled the perfect defense. That limp body, I think my guy Chris Curtis called it the dead body defense. That's the way you do that. Like that's what you do, right? He took all the pressure off. He made sure there was no extra weight hanging in the wrong spot, and he gritted it out. But you would not have wanted another minute on the clock, right? Like if he was stuck in that choke and there was a little bit more time, I mean, we've seen some situations where the refs step in at the wrong time. They make the mistake of thinking the fighter is out because they're just laying there. That could have spelled trouble if Charlie had gotten into that position just a little bit sooner. You can never disrespect Charles Oliveira, guys. And that's, yeah, that was oh, don't say Charles robbery. People saying Charles, no, Charles never wins that fight. It was not never, but I mean the fight that played out the way that it actually happened. You can't score round 3 for Charles, guys. I'm sorry. I know everybody loves Charles Oliveira, but you cannot score round 3 for him. He got dominated for 4.5 minutes, and then he sunk in a choke that was probably dangerous, but wasn't actually close. That doesn't win you the round. Like he didn't floor Arman. He didn't. Yeah, it was a close submission where if there had been another 2 minutes on the clock, Charlie probably taps him. But 30 seconds of round 3 is not enough to win him the round. So I'm sorry. Pretty clear 29-28 Arman Tsarukyan. I'm curious to see what Arman will look like in the rematch against the champion. He should be the next guy up. Although from what I saw online, he actually got offered the title shot, turned it down because it was too quick of a turnaround. So I don't know that we're going to get that fight next. I think we're getting Dustin Poirier next, even though that Arman probably is next man up. You know what I mean? Gonna be fun. Good times at 155. Good times. Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway. We started talking about it a little bit earlier, guys. We just kind of mentioned it just a little bit earlier, but oh my gosh, this fight. I mean, I'm glad I trusted my balls on Max Holloway. I got all kinds of shit. People gave me a hard time about this one. And I was worried that I had kind of missed out on it because the number had crashed so violently from plus 220 all the way down to where I got it at like plus 135. But he put on a clinic. This fight could have potentially been different if he hadn't broken Justin's nose. Max knew what the hell he was doing, guys. Like they game planned for that little dip that Justin does. Did you notice that? Like everyone was raving about the Max Holloway spinning kick and how like he keeps going to it. Like that's something he developed recently. Like not only did he develop it recently, but he planned it for this specific opponent every single time. Justin dipped out to reset the range and duck out of the pocket that way. Max instantly threw it. That was something they trained for, guys. That was something they planned for. That, a little bit lucky landing on Justin's face and breaking his nose, I think, in the second round? A little bit lucky for that outcome, obviously, but the plan was there. The plan was in place. Got to congratulate Justin, first man ever to knock down Max Holloway. He was in that fight. He did a lot of leg damage. He floored Max the one time. But Max is just a motherfucker, guys. Like, he is such a beast. I'm happy to hear we're going to get Holloway versus Ilya Taporia. You guys know I love my Georgian Warriors, but I would love to see Max Holloway get a throwback belt around the waist. How awesome would that be? How awesome would that be for Max Holloway to be champion once again at 145 pounds? Oh, I could die happy. I'd be so excited. That would be absolutely epic. And then the floor point, like, we're all geeking out about that shit, and rightfully so. I mean, he had the perfect opponent to do that, guys. Some people are like, meet me in the middle, and they're like, no, not really. Gaethje's never turning down that offer. Justin Gaethje is never turning down the offer to stand in the pocket and bang it out. That is his game. So the fact that Max up 3-1, at least on my card, up 3-1, put that option out there for Justin Gaethje to come and win the fight. Like, he risked losing everything. Max put a 20-minute masterclass on the line to say, bro, come do it. Oh, chills. Just thinking about it. Epic knockout. And I thought this thing was going the distance. I thought for sure, even with them slugging it out the way they were both like rolling in the pocket and shit, I thought there's no one's going to catch each other, right? Like, one of them might fall backwards on his butt or something like that, but nobody's getting knocked out. He slept him. Oh, and I'm kicking myself because I thought Justin might eventually change levels. I thought Max's leg might get beat up, that he might change levels. I thought the wrestling might be involved because Justin Gaethje struggles with grapplers. Like, I thought there was going to be some element of grappling mixed into this fight somewhere. So I played the late round sub props for Max Holloway. Got too fancy with it. A lot of people out there celebrating cashing that round 5 Max Holloway ticket, and I should have been with you. I should have been one of you. I should have been there. The numbers were too big. Between 80 and 100 to 1 on the sub props. I got greedy. I could have just done Max Holloway round 3, 4, and 5, and that would have been the right move. So congratulations to you guys. Congratulations to all of you who cashed in big on those late round props. Epic finish. I can't imagine that feeling of having that, like 60 or 75 to 1, whatever it was on Max round 5 with 1 second left on the clock and cashing it. Oh my God. Epic. You can't ask for better than that on a fight card like this, right? It's UFC 300. It's already a banger of a night, and you cash a ticket like that. Oh, awesome. Co-main event: Weili Zhang and Yan Xiaonan. I talked all week about how I didn't feel good about this fight, and I didn't have a great read on it, but I knew for sure it wasn't going the distance. Well, what the hell, man? Weili Zhang taps Yan Xiaonan out, chokes her completely unconscious in the first round. Behind the desk, like, the commentators are reviewing it and like slow motioning it and like, bro, she's out. She's out cold. Stop the fight. It's over. Nope. Ref lets Yan like stumble back up to her feet. I honestly think the Zhang shove woke her up. Like, she was like a dead limp body on top of Weili Zhang. And I think when Zhang shoved her off, that kind of like woke her up a little bit, startled her just enough to get her up. And credit to Yan, because I think when she was getting back up to her feet, now obviously she wasn't all the way there, right? Like, she was still kind of coming to, and you're still real foggy in that moment. If she had like buckled a knee, if she had gone back down instead of standing up the way she did, I'm sure they would have called it. But she dug deep and she stumbled, and it's like when you sit on the toilet for too long and your one leg goes numb and you can't hardly, get yourself out of the bathroom because you got to wait for your leg to wake back up. That's what Yan looked like. She like stumbled and planted the one foot, and then she kind of found herself and zombied her way over to the corner. Holy shit. So another big bet for me, 3.3 units to win 2 on the fight doesn't go the distance. And then honestly, guys, Weili Zhang punched herself out trying to finish Yan Xiaonan. So watching that fight, I took a stab on Jan live. She was like 8-1. And I took a shot because I was like, Zhang's dead tired. Jan is starting to catch her on the chin, and the number still is as though Zhang's going to just take her down and finish her with ease. I was like, Jan is still very much in this fight, man. I thought Zhang was going to be completely exhausted and either get beat up for the next 3 rounds or potentially get knocked out. So I took the shot. I took the shot. But credit to Zhang. She's a fucking champion, dude. We talk about having that dog in you. She caught a second wind, and I didn't think she was going to get another top position takedown, but I think all the damage and all the effort and the early submission on near finish, it all caught up to Yan. And so even though Zhang was like dead tired in like round 4 or whatever, she couldn't completely stuff the takedown, and Yan got back on top of her, or Zhang got back on top of her, and that was the end of it. That was the end of it. That was a bummer. Josh asking why I didn't hedge at evens. I honestly, I should have. I wasn't watching closely enough. I had fight doesn't go the distance, and then I had the shot on Jan. So I kind of was like just rooting for Jan at that point. I was like, I just kind of want to see Jan win the fight and cash the 8-1. And then if she doesn't, I want Zhang to finish her, right? Or I want Jan to knock her out. Like those were the 2 options that I was like, I've got plenty to root for. Didn't even think about getting my money back. Evens on the other side with Weili Zhang. I absolutely should have done that, but I wasn't watching for that. And then, all right, the moment everybody's here for, right? Alex Pereira taking on Jamal freaking Hill. This one sucked. This one sucked. Let me just pull this up here for you guys real quick. Why is it not working for me? What the hell are you doing? Okay, here we go. There it is. All right, there it is. The big L right there. Oh yeah, yeah. So haters rejoice. Your boy missed. I swung and I missed. Biggest bet of my lifetime on Jamal freaking Hill. And I was wrong, guys. I was wrong. One of the things I said after Yuri Prochazka lost to Alex Pereira is that I feel like I was on the right side of that fight. I felt like the stoppage was maybe a little too early. They didn't really give Yuri a chance to grapple when he fell backwards. And I thought that if they rematch, I probably would bet Yuri again. You know, the number probably would be a little bit wider, and I probably would take the dog side of that prospect yet again because I thought Yuri was doing everything right, and he got caught. I was very confident that Jamal coming in shape the way he was going to be good to go in this spot. And let's set the record straight. Let's set the record straight here, right? Jamal's injury did not factor into this. Jamal, in multiple interviews, came back and said that he has been doing things like jumping and squatting, and like he has fully recovered from that injury. And he's been training full force, getting ready to come back and take his title back. Yes, it was short notice. Yes, it was, unexpected timing, but he was already in the gym working towards his comeback. And he was, in fact, in the best shape of his life. I thought his style was going to be one that would match up well with Alex. The power at 205 being different from 185. I still, we never really got to see it, but I still feel like Alex is a little bit chinny after his lifelong kickboxing career. I think you can put him down if you touch him. Jamal never really even got the opportunity. Alex was the better man, guys. I was wrong. The reason I did what I did, I said that I was going to offer everybody even money on Alex Pereira because I felt the line was backwards and that Jamal was straight up the better fighter. End of story. I felt Jamal was the better fighter. I was wrong. Alex Pereira is obviously on another level. And yes, he did land the left hand, and that was the fear. The fear was that Alex lands the left hand, right? So he landed the left hand. That shit happened. But Jamal did not do what I expected him to in the cage that night. And we knew he wasn't going to wrestle. Don't get me wrong. And maybe he was trying to set something up. that I just am not privy to. You know what I mean? Something along those lines. He's very young. He'll be back. I still love his athleticism. I still love his skill set. Jamal's gonna be an issue for this division, and I do think Alex Pereira's day will come. He's older. He's 36 years old, that kind of thing. But I was just wrong this time, guys. I don't have any other breakdown for you. You know, a lot of people, they got on me for saying some of the things that I did, and I said that I wasn't downplaying Alex's skill set. I just felt that Jamal was better. I was wrong. That was it. I was willing to put my balls on the table for it, and it's funny that people come after you for that, right? Like you're willing to say something stupid and then go, I will literally put my money where my mouth is and see if I'm right here. And I did that in a big fucking way. And I'm kind of shocked at the backlash from that. Like I had some people like accusing me of like trying to sell misinformation or whatever. And I already told everybody, I'm like, this is like a stupid big bet. Don't do this. I'm doing this because I believe I'm right. And on top of that, I'm offering the community, people who want Alex Pereira, a better number on their guy. Like, I feel like it's kind of a win-win. And people are still like hating on me for that. I don't get it. You know, whatever. Fuck them. We'll keep doing us. It is what it is. We did do a giveaway on Bet Openly. Another this is something we've been doing lately, and I think we're going to keep on doing it. Is we're doing like a giveaway. It's a free contest where we'll put like 50 or $100 up on top for like a fight picking contest. And all you guys got to do is sign up for Bet Openly if you want to be a part of that. I do want to shout out and thank the people that gave me the action. I could have walked out of here with a giant pile of money thanks to the stupid thing with the bet with Jamal and the people who were ballsy enough to take the other side of it. So thank you guys and congratulations for winning. I hope you enjoy my money. I hope it keeps you cozy at night. Oh, and you know what? Okay, real quick. One other thing. I had people like, I couldn't help but laugh. People were like saying it was like fake or some shit. Guys, I'm not Drake. I'm not Drake. I don't have a crypto book that, that I'm posting fake tickets on where the money goes nowhere. You guys realize that when you do that, it's like betting with your buddy who's a bookie and they don't actually like give or take any money because the money's fake and it's just a number that's up there for everybody to look at. On Bet Openly, it's real human beings that get the other side of it. So it's not like I'm handshaking and the money just disappears. Like you guys took the cash. So I mean, very worst case scenario, guys got paid, right? Like it's, I don't get it. I don't get it. Anyway, it's just funny. People are freaking hilarious. Mumu asking me, why don't I like Alex? It seems like you want him to lose. No, not at all, Mumu. I actually love Alex Pereira. What he's done has been frankly incredible. I just thought I had an edge. Guys, the 7-unit max bet record is 7-3. 7-3. When I am that convicted, when I go that hard on something, I've got a very good record. 2 of those 3 losses now are against Alex Pereira. I made those bets thinking I had an edge. And especially in this one, I felt like I was going to get back the previous 7-unit bet, which was Yuri, going into that one. And what this comes down to, again, guys, I like to look back and I like to look at my process and go, was I on the right track? Did I see the things I wanted to see? Where was my mistake? Was it a good bet? Would I make that bet again? Right? That's what I do. So I look back. In this case, no. It was a bad bet. So even if I had made a smaller bet, it still would have been a bad bet. I was simply wrong about the way these guys matched up. I was simply wrong about who was the better fighter. And when you have that edge that you think you have, you just got to learn the lesson the hard way, right? You got to take your shot and find out. That's what happened with Calvin Kattar and Aljo too. Thought I had an edge there. I did not. I was wrong. Now the Calvin Kattar one, maybe it was the injury comeback. He definitely looked a little bit like a shell of himself. Calvin might be on the downtrend, whereas I don't think that's the case with Jamal. I'm not making excuses. I'm speculating. I kind of think that was, I'm still not sold on Aljo at 145 pounds, but it is what it is. And Silent Rob, I appreciate you, my guy. I'm not apologizing. I'm not apologizing for shit. I made a bet. I lost the bet. I will man up. I will put my balls on the table the next time I have a strong feeling about this. Don't forget, guys, we're just coming off the Peyton Talbot 7-unit spot. Like, I'll do it again. When I find the spot that I like, I'll do it again. I'm not apologizing for shit. In fact, like I said, I feel like I was doing the community a favor. If you guys liked Alex Pereira, I gave you the best number you could get. Fuck off. Like, what do you want from me? What do you want? That's what's up. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. And Gamblestein, my guy. I appreciate that. And yeah. So guys, that's really all I got for you. Yeah, Josh, my favorite meme of all time. Fucking do it again. Like that goofy picture where he looks creepy as shit. Oh, that makes me laugh every time. Yeah. So guys, that's really all I've got for you. We just wanted to do a quick recap. Wanted to let you know what was going on with me. We do not have anything going this week as far as UFC goes. So no Thursday, no Friday show. I will take a look at the PFL card, and if I feel like I like it well enough, maybe we'll slot in, a little show later on to fill those spots if I have enough to feel like I have enough to talk about. Not necessarily going to be the case, but we'll be back in the seat here for the podcast next week on Monday. I ain't going anywhere. This was a little bit of fun today, guys. But don't worry, podcast isn't going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Shout out my beautiful wife, guys. I gotta rock this here. Check this bad boy out. She got me the Kachina style Coyotes jersey. It's my boy Clayton Keller. I'm in shambles. I'm in absolute shambles. They're taking my team away from me. Apparently, the Coyotes are headed to Utah. So, an Arizona kid, born and raised here, cheering for the Minnesota Vikings. I will now have another weird team because I'm following my boys. I love that squad, and I will be cheering for whatever they call the Utah Coyotes. They're probably going to be I don't know, Utah Snowflakes, or I hope they're the Utah Sasquatches. I hope that. But had to rock my guy's jersey, had to get my boy's name on my back here before the Arizona Coyotes are no more. So I'm a very sad boy. The very last Arizona Coyotes game ever is going to be on Wednesday this week, the 17th. I'm pretty pissed off. I'm pretty pissed off because I can't even go to the game. The owner's such a prick. He didn't let people know that this was happening. So people like me are not going to get a chance to go watch the guys play one last time. I'm pissed. Fucking pissed. But it is what it is. I'm having a good time. Oh, and I did real quick before I let you guys go. I did update the record. I'll post my tweet in a little bit. I want a couple more people to get caught by the I quit. I want to troll a couple people before I get out on Twitter again. I was silent today on purpose to freak everybody out. But I updated the record. After the 7-unit loss, we're down about 19 units for the year, which frankly, guys, I feel like is pretty incredible. The reads at UFC 300 were great. Like people giving me shit. Guys, it was the 7-unit max bet on Jamal that cost me 7 units that night. If it wasn't for that bet, if I just didn't make that bet, it was a break-even card, literally break even. If we had gotten those two weird spots where Turner didn't get the finish and, Zhang fight doesn't go the distance, I'd have been free rolling the main event, not the bet openly bet, obviously, but like the units, the tracking. I would have been free rolling that 7-unit main event spot because we would have won so much throughout the evening on the card that it wouldn't have mattered, right? Like it was a great card with great reads. I feel really dialed in. We had chipped away and gotten down to, we were just 10 units in the negative before this card, or 12, I guess, based on the math. But that 7 units down all comes down to one bet, and it was the Jamal Hill bet that it came down to. So like, I'm kind of not sweating it. You know what I mean? If that was a normal bet, if that was a 1-unit bet instead of a 7-unit bet, I would have lost 1 unit at UFC 300. So we're feeling good, guys. We're feeling good. We're 4 months into the year. We got a long way to go. We're having a damn good time. MMA has been good this year. It's been a rough stretch leading up to UFC 300, but now that all these superstars have gotten their fight in, hopefully they'll kind of disperse them a little bit, and the cards coming down the pipe are going to be a little bit better. This week's the break week. We've got one fight night, and then it's UFC 301. So we are right back to the good shit, and I can't wait for Steve Erceg to get UFC gold wrapped around his waist. That's right. I said it. I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Have a great week tonight, guys. You can catch me on Twitter, Instagram. Come join the Home of Fight Discord. I'll get all that info in here if you guys want to jump in there. I'm hanging out there as well. So if you have any questions, if you want to talk to me, hit me up. Come check us out there. Have a wonderful rest of your week, guys.
Does anybody else have any other stupid questions for me tonight? Thank you. Have a good night.
Let's roll, baby.